If a woman left you and a part of you still wonders, did she find better? Did she upgrade? Was I the problem? This video is for you because there is a moment that happens for many women after they walk away from a good man. A moment where the excitement fades, the fantasy collapses, and reality speaks louder than feelings. People call it, the grass wasn't greener. But what it really means is this: she finally sees the difference between attention and commitment, between intensity and stability, between someone who looks good in the beginning and someone who shows up when life gets real. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through what that moment looks like. Not as revenge, as clarity, because good men don't need revenge. Good men need peace. And near the end, I'm going to tell you the one mistake that ruins a good man's leverage when she finally realizes it. Stay with me, because that mistake is the reason so many men get pulled back into the same cycle. Now, quick disclaimer, this is not all women, and it's not women are bad. This is about patterns many adults recognize after real relationships end. Let's get into it. The first truth you need to hear. The grass wasn't greener moment usually doesn't happen on day one. At first, she feels relief, freedom, validation. Sometimes she feels powerful because she thinks she proved something. She may even look happier on the outside. But that early phase is not the truth. That's the adrenaline of change. The real truth shows up when the noise settles, when the newness wears off, when the distractions stop working, when the person she chose or the life she imagined has to deliver something real. And that's when the moment hits. So let me show you the most common ways it happens. Moment number 1. She trades peace for excitement, and it costs her. If you were a steady man, a consistent man, a calm man, you brought something rare. You brought peace. And peace is easy to overlook when you've had it for a long time. Because peace doesn't beg for attention. Chaos does. Chaos feels like passion to someone who is used to emotional highs and lows. So sometimes she leaves a peaceful relationship and steps into something that looks exciting. More texting, more compliments, more heat. But then, the same exciting man becomes inconsistent. The same fun energy becomes unreliable. The same intensity becomes mood swings. And she starts realizing something. What she called boring was actually stability. And stability is what makes a woman feel safe in the long run. That is often the first moment. Not a dramatic breakup, not a crying scene, just a quiet realization. I had peace, and I let it go. Moment number 2. She meets the reality of modern dating. This one is simple. After she leaves, she sees what's out there. She sees people who want attention but not responsibility. People who want benefits but not commitment. People who talk big but don't follow through. And if you're a man who spent years, maybe decades, building a real relationship, you know what I'm about to say. Consistency is rare. So when she re-enters the dating world, she runs into the same pattern. A lot of talk, a lot of charm, very little substance. At first, she might enjoy the attention, but eventually she feels the emptiness. Because attention is loud, but it doesn't build a life. And this is where many women start comparing. Not because they are evil, because humans compare when reality hits. And your name starts coming up in her mind in a way it didn't before. Not as the guy I left, but as the man who actually showed up. Moment number 3. She realizes respect isn't automatic out there. A good man respects his woman even when he's upset. He doesn't embarrass her. He doesn't use her vulnerabilities against her. He doesn't talk to her like she's disposable. And if that was you, you need to understand how big that is. Because when she leaves, she may meet men who don't respect her at all. They want her. They chase her. They desire her. but they don't respect her. And here's the truth. A woman can feel desired by many men, but being respected by a solid man, that's different. So when she experiences disrespect in the real world, she starts remembering how you handled her, how you spoke, how you listened, how you stayed decent even during conflict. That's a moment, because disrespect has a way of sharpening memory. It makes the past look clearer. Moment number 4. She needs real support, and it isn't there. This is where the fantasy really collapses, because life doesn't care about anyone's excitement. Life brings stress, family situations, health issues, bills, loneliness, unexpected problems, and when something real happens, she learns who is real. Sometimes the new man is gone when things get heavy. Sometimes her friends are not as available as they seemed. Sometimes the freedom feels like isolation. And she remembers something about you. You handled things. You showed up. You didn't just talk about building. You built. You didn't just talk about loyalty. You were loyal. This is where many women feel the deepest regret, not because they miss romance, but because they miss R, because reliability is what makes a woman relax. And when it's gone, she feels it. Moment number 5. She sees you didn't fall apart without her. This one surprises a lot of women, because if you were a good man, you probably gave a lot. Time, effort, attention, protection, support. And some women start believing that kind of man will always be there waiting. They assume you'll chase. They assume you'll beg. They assume you'll remain emotionally available forever. Then they see you didn't. They see you got quieter, more focused, more grounded, not because you became cold, because you became clear. And that contrast hits her hard, because your calm is a mirror. It silently communicates something powerful. My life continues. My standards remain. I am not broken without you. And that is often the moment she realizes, you were not just a boyfriend. You were the foundation. The real meaning of the grass wasn't greener. Let me translate this in the simplest way. It doesn't always mean she wants you back. Sometimes it just means she finally understands your value. She realizes you weren't easy to replace. And if she does reach out, it's usually not with a full speech. It's often small, a hey, a how have you been, a reaction to your post, a random memory, a question that doesn't need to be asked, because she's testing not just your availability, your access. And this is where the good man must be careful. The one mistake that ruins your leverage. Here it is, when she reaches out, and you respond like you've been waiting. You give her full emotional access with zero accountability. You reward the return without requiring respect. And I need you to hear this clearly. That doesn't make you loving. That makes you easy to re-enter. A good man can be kind, but a high-value good man is still selective. Because you learned something, you learned what it feels like to be taken for granted, so your response should match your standards, not your emotions. What a high-value man remembers in this moment, he remembers this. Her regret does not automatically equal her maturity. Missing you is not the same as being ready for you. So if she returns or hints at returning, you don't need to punish her. You also don't need to rescue her. You simply need clarity. You need to see proof, and proof looks like this: accountability, consistency, respect, and time. Not just words, not just tears, not just nostalgia. Real signs she actually learned the lesson. Let me give you a simple checklist. If she truly realized the grass wasn't greener, she tends to do 3 things. Number 1, she gets specific, not vague messages. Specific. She can say what she did wrong, what she regrets, what she wants. Number 2, she respects your pace. She doesn't demand instant access. She understands trust has to be rebuilt. Number 3, she offers a real step forward, a real conversation, a real plan, a real commitment to doing better. Because adults don't rebuild a relationship through random texting. Now compare that to the other version. The signs. It's just emotional hunger. Sometimes she doesn't miss you. She misses what you provided. She misses the attention, the comfort, the safety net. And in that case, you'll notice this. She shows up when she's lonely. She disappears when she feels better. She keeps things unclear. She avoids accountability. That's not a woman who learned. That's a woman who is soothing herself. And you are not a tool for soothing. You're a man with dignity, a man with a life, a man with standards. Let's bring it home. The moment she realizes the grass wasn't greener usually happens when she trades peace for excitement and feels the cost. She experiences modern dating and sees how shallow it can be. She meets disrespect and remembers your decency. She needs real support and sees who actually shows up. And she sees you didn't fall apart without her. And that moment is not about luck. It's about value. You are the kind of man who is easy to overlook in the moment, but hard to replace later. So if you're watching this and you've been questioning yourself, stop. A good man is not someone who is perfect. A good man is someone who is consistent, respectful, and real. And real is rare. Now I want to ask you a question. What do you think she misses the most when she loses a good man? Peace, respect, support, or stability? Write one word in the comments. And if you want more videos that validate good men and teach you how to move with dignity, subscribe. Because on this channel, we don't beg, we don't chase, we don't hate, we stay solid, and we let our values speak. I'll see you in the next video.